Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Stream of Thought, and this is episode 24. And today we start out by talking a little bit about Victor actually getting his car back and getting wheels, which is awesome because he's transitioned out of his biking phase.
Not just yet. 10 days without a car. I was at the mechanic, and I've had been using my bicycle. I have my car back. I'm going to still use the bicycle.
And then we start talking a little bit about Mother Nature with the craziness that's going on and the hurricanes that have been floating around. But then we end up deviating a little bit because Victor wants to talk about Y-mail for some reason.
No, we took a hard left turn because that got boring after several moments, and so we discussed something that was a cheap laugh. And
Totally
then we talk about recycling, carbon footprints, plastic.
You make it sound so exciting.
It was pretty cool. It was enjoyable.
Because it's the question of personal responsibility versus, like, do you actually just do stuff on a regular basis? Is it, like, part of your nature?
And then Rix and I...
Speaking of nature,
get into a little scuffle in regards to... we had a difference of opinion in regards to... how would you want to put this? Double standards or women and men and... sexual harassment and what is, what isn't, and all such.
I think you pretty much just summed it up with all those words.
It's really good. It's really good.
It's kind of,
and then it's funny because we're going back and forth, and then at the end it's like, oh, this piece of information was missing, and then we were on the same page.
One sentence of communication ends up bringing us back together.
Yes.
So stay tuned and find out.
Yes. With that being said, episode number 24, Stream of Thought. We hope you enjoy. One thing that did happen one time was there was like 20 or 30 minutes completely gone when I was like, oh shit, Rick is gonna fucking kill me. I accidentally deleted like a segment thinking it was like a different track, but I was like, wait a minute, undo, and then it like reappeared, and I was like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, fuck. That would be a disaster.
Speaking of disasters, so I have the cost of what my car repair is.
Oh, I thought we were going in a slightly different direction, but no, that's cool.
What were you thinking of?
You said, speaking of disasters, as we have Hurricane Irma about to engulf the peninsula of Florida, and
we'll get to that.
Yeah, my car.
We'll get to that later.
My car.
Yeah, my
anyway,
car.
Your car.
We're talking about
the important disasters.
We're talking about me right now.
That's right.
All right.
This is the Victor show.
So, take a guess as to what the repair is. So now, keep in mind, the entire clutch had to be repaired. So a clutch kit was ordered. He installed it. My back right tire was leaking air. That's a very minor issue. And I got an oil change. And my front right tire got messed up because in the winter it slid and it hit the curb and the metal bent inwards. Yeah. You probably saw that. And maybe not. No, but anyway, the main thing is the whole clutch thing. Yes. So, I mean, take a guess.
I'm thinking, my guess was 1,100. I'm sticking around there.
That is a good guess.
What did it end up being?
Do you want a second guess?
Do I want to? Was I close?
I mean,
was I in the ballpark of 1,000?
Yeah. I'll give you this. If you were on Price is Right, and the next person that came down, guessed, you would probably be the lowest of the guesses between four people.
What? No.
Now, the objective of the game is not to go over.
Yeah.
So, give it a second try.
I'm going to say 1,235.
All right, strike two. Go
All
again.
Right, I don't like this game anymore.
Go again.
1,450.
Ooh. $1,524.81.
I love how you have that memorized. You're not even looking at a piece of paper right now. That's like
because
emblazoned into your mind.
That stuck in there when I got the voicemail for the estimate. I mean, he said, "Hey, this is the estimate for all the stuff. Call me back. Let me know what you want to do." It's not like, by the way, you owe me $1,500. I was like, "Nope, just go ahead. Fuck it. I need my car."
Good financial decision.
That's really, my car is 13 years old, and I bought it 7 years ago, and that is the only, aside from buying new tires and brakes last year, that's the only, quote unquote issue that I've had with my car, problem, so to speak.
So that's the first major repair that you had to do.
I mean,
that's not bad, man.
The tires and brakes, that's something that eventually those have to happen down the road,
Yeah, you're supposed to get those changed anyway.
And yeah, that was the first major thing. But dude, let me tell you this. So I got my car I came off the train just now from class, and I picked up my car from the mechanic.
Yeah.
Man, dude, I cannot describe the feeling of what the car feels like, of what the clutch feels like. Dude.
Even if you revved it a couple of times?
Dude, it is it feels like a brand new car.
Really?
The clutch is way more sensitive. The spring, when I push the clutch down and when I lift up my foot and it pushes back, because there's a spring inside, it's way more, it pushes back harder. The clutch itself is more sensitive. So I stalled the car on the way over here because I'm so used to. So imagine so my left hand is the clutch, my right hand is the gas. So when you're in a stop, you have the clutch down, your foot's on the brake. When you're accelerating, you're supposed to be hitting on the gas as you're lifting off the clutch. Okay. And there's a sweet spot where you can completely disregard the clutch and just hit the gas. So before, what would happen is I would step on the gas and I would lift up my clutch halfway because it was just so much more forgiving. Now, dude, I gotta be careful. Now I gotta be very aware of what my feet are doing. I have to develop new muscle memory with my legs in order to be super smooth because I did, like I said, I stalled it.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of when I first bought my car. I knew how to drive a stick shift car, but I didn't have experience doing it. So every time I was driving my car home 7 years ago, coming to a stop sign or a stoplight, I'm just like, please don't stall, please don't stall, please don't stall. And that's kind of how I felt a little bit. I mean, I know what I'm doing, but I have to be very aware of my old muscle memory versus the new one that I need to develop. And it's awesome. I'm so happy. I don't even care about the $1,500 repair. I'm just so stoked that I got this car that feels so new.
Could you have anticipated that it would have turned out as well?
No, I had no idea. No, I don't know anything about cars. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So when you had no idea it was going to feel like that.
You could do this to fix up a car?
Yeah, man. It feels great.
Yeah.
It feels amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I know that you had said initially, you're like, if it's 600, then I'll be happy. And I was saying, could be in the 4 digits.
Yeah. And I was preparing. I was preparing $1,200.
And yeah, I when you said 15, it kind of just
I'll get the invoice on Monday when I go pay for it. I'll get the invoice and the breakdown of what each service costs.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, if it lasts you tens of thousands,
I think to myself,
that's great.
I think it's funny because I remember growing up in my dad's '93 Buick LeSabre, and with the car that I have now, the '04 Corolla, I'll definitely have some car seats back there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Definitely have some car seats back there. So yeah, I'm gonna drive it until the thing is not worth repairing.
Yeah.
But
which hopefully is.
Yeah. In absence of my vehicle, I've not had a car for 10 days.
I know. When you picked me up in your car, I'm like, oh, you finally got it. I was going to say congratulations, but I thought I'd wait.
Yeah, when I have not had a car for 10 days, I've been riding my bicycle to work and taking the train.
Yeah, how's that been? How's your bike week been?
Riding my bike has been awesome, dude. It's been so great. I'm definitely going to ride my bike. Because I was telling you that now that I have my car back, it's like I don't want to use it. You know what I'm saying? Especially because work's only a mile away. The train station's only a mile away.
Oh, yeah,
I can totally ride my bicycle.
Absolutely.
So I've been doing that, and it's been really fun. And it's been really nice riding my bike at night.
Oh, it's so great at night. Yeah.
It's great. And, yeah, I've really enjoyed it. So,
well, the weather's been perfect this past week.
I was... What did I do?
You lucked out on weather for a week for your car to break down.
It's funny because
no rain, no inclement stuff going on. I'm sure you had it perfect.
It's funny you mention that because when I was riding back from work, it's like 2 p.m. It's like the middle of the afternoon. I'm wearing pants and I have like a jacket on because it's kind of cool. But man, I would not want to be doing that in the middle of July.
Oh man,
you know what I'm saying?
I've done that in the middle of July. It's cold, man. You gotta layer up. You gotta get windproof stuff.
But on the way to the train station today, I was like, oh shit, I gotta catch the train. So I'm like pedaling the whole. Well, I have to pedal the whole time because it's a fixed gear, so you always have to be moving your legs.
Yeah, I don't like it that you've got. But
you can flip the wheel over and make it normal. But I'm riding to get to the train station on time. I get there like 5 minutes before the train's supposed to get there, and I'm a little warm. and the weather is just a little bit warmer than I anticipated, and the sun's out, and this is like, for some weird reason, this is like the third time in a row that I've forgotten to put deodorant on.
Oh.
Now, but hang on.
Okay.
I do not sweat very much.
You
like
glisten?
it takes no. It takes a lot.
Shine?
It takes a lot for me to sweat. I just feel warm. So that thought entered my mind when I got done pedaling.
Yeah.
I was like, shit. But that, in addition to, I pedaled this hard for nothing, because the second I get there, train so and so from Elburn to Chicago is running, 10 to 12 minutes behind schedule.
Yes.
I was like, damn it. Like, I just thought I was going to miss the train, so I
exerting
biked
that extra
real hard
energy
here, and now I'm just going to stand in the sun for like 12 minutes.
You're a sweaty little guy with no
I don't.
on.
I don't sweat very much.
Yeah. I'm very envious, I have to say, because if I forget deodorant, it's game.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal for me, but I like the smell of the Old Spice.
That's like, isn't that the treasured acting gene that you don't sweat or something? I read that somewhere where it's like super impressive for those people who don't really sweat as much, or it's beneficial in the industry.
It's super impressive if you can cry your eyes out on command, which I haven't developed.
You can train yourself.
I've not
to
developed
do
that skill yet. I don't know. I haven't
Let's
heard
try
about
it right
that.
now.
No, I'm good.
Let's think of the saddest memory that you could possibly envision and share it.
I don't think I've experienced the saddest thing ever. We're only 29, so still got a. I do have this really fucked up fear that like.
We record an episode of Stream of Thought and you forget to hit record.
No. Okay. Actually, I don't even want to talk about it and bring it to fruition. I remember there was a Chris Hardwick episode where they talk about like what you're afraid of, but you can't always be like thinking that. I can't remember what he said his weird messed up thing was. Mine is a lot. I don't even want to say it. It's messed up.
Say it. You have to say it.
No.
You can't be on the precipice of that.
No, I'm good.
Share it.
No.
Do it.
It has to do with like death. And I don't want.
Okay, that's fine. We'll breeze through it. We won't get emotional.
Yeah.
Just share it.
No.
Put it out in the world.
No.
Speak it into existence.
No. I'm not gonna speak it into existence.
Come on, man.
No. It's so fucked up. Yeah.
So it's that you become a murderer?
No.
It's that someone murders your family?
No.
It's that.
What? I don't want to talk about it. What?
Is that a clown breaks into your bedroom?
Speaking of clowns, I heard the movie It was really great.
Yes.
I saw part of it on TV the other day, and it was like the part of it was like the first half with the kids, and I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting. The clown, they're in the sewers, and then I realized there's still another like 3 hours of the movie. I'm like, hell no, because that movie, I think with commercials, is like 4.5 or 5 hours long.
The movie It?
Yeah.
I thought
it's with the clown that kills.
Yeah, there was two iterations. There was the movie, and then there was the TV series or whatever.
Yeah, there was like a mini series or something like that.
Yeah, I believe. So you could have been watching a mini series because I didn't think.
No, it was one. I don't know.
The movie's 4 hours.
I actually don't know. I have no idea. All those books are like 1,200 pages long, 1,500 pages long.
I'm still really pissed that you're not going to share your scariest thought. But speaking of other scary stuff, man, the path of that hurricane. My grandmother lives like 60 miles out of Tampa.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And that's where it's supposed to be the worst. They just
Category 5?
Updated as of whatever time it is.
I heard
6:20 Central.
The Harvey one was like Category 3. Is that correct? And this one is Irma is Category 5? I don't know.
Well, it's varying. It's gone back and forth. I think it was down to a Category 3.
Someone told me it's like the size of the state. The width is like it's like the width of the state of Ohio. It's bigger than Texas.
You put it over, and the clouds extend beyond Texas. Damn. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna drench the south to Midwest area, like up to halfway through Illinois. Is just gonna be doused.
I saw this meme that said like, come to Chicago, no hurricanes, just like good pizza, something else, and a shit ton of taxes.
No, we don't really have natural disasters, but yeah, I mean, just it's been crazy, man, because you had Harvey, then now you got Irma, and then there's I think we'll be fine from Jose and Katia or something.
Yeah.
No one's really talked about those two, but It's like, this is, the record strongest hurricane ever recorded in the Atlantic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This is the fastest ever recorded in the Atlantic, which apparently is a huge deal. So, but it's going to miss Miami. It seems like the worst of it's going to miss Miami, which will be good, just considering how tall those buildings are. But
so let me share something on a more entertaining note. So today in class, my acting instructor's like, "Hey, did you check your email?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Well, check your email. I emailed you something." And I'm looking, I'm like, "I don't have an email." He's like, "Really?" I was like, "I sent it to you." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have an email." And he says to me, and then he repeats the email my email address back to me. I'm like, "No, that's not my email. My email is this." And it's like one slight variation.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "What? Are you sure?" Anyway, he showed me this email that got sent, an email reply that somebody sent him saying like, "Hey, this isn't Victor. I get his emails all the time. Something, whatever." And so as a joke, I decided to email that email address, which it's a difference of one letter. And I email it to him, and I title it Identity Crisis. And I say, "Hi, whatever. Hi, V Marquez." This whole time I'm like trying to cover up my email address, like this is, you know what I'm saying? Like,
make it BCC.
Yeah, make it, no, I'm saying in this podcast, like, I don't want people to know what my email address is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I say, "Hi," and then the email address. This is the guy who was supposed to, this is the guy who was supposed to get the casting email. Sorry about the mix-up. I'm sure this happens a lot. You see, many people don't realize or forget that I use my middle initial in my email address. Is your name also Victor? A lot of people mistake me for Vince. Does that happen to you? Or if your name is Vince, do people sometimes call you Victor? What's your middle initial? No, my middle name is not Pablo. Let's chat, because everyone always says that, because my middle initial is P. The other you, and then I sign my name. So, that was a couple hours ago. I haven't gotten an email back. Not sure if I will, but I really hope that I do. Kind of reminds me of the tweets, or not the tweets, the text messages that we talked about when people thought I was somebody else.
Yeah. If you had the opportunity to take victormarquez@gmail.com, would you?
No, because that's too much. It's too many letters.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I feel like that is the best case scenario, when you're able to just get your name.
Hell no.
Just straight up. No.
My friend's got his first, middle, and last name. It's it's like 15 characters, 20 characters. Like,
it's memorable. Way. It's memorable. It doesn't matter. It's super easy to find.
You know why I have my email address the way it is because I think I wanted it to be what this guy has it as, but this ass clown took it, so I had to throw my middle initial in there.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's not Victor P. Marquez. It's like some other stuff. If you can figure it out, email me.
Yeah.
But no.
But I love just being able to have the straight up name, if you're able to. But maybe that's just
I'll pass.
Like you could be Victor Pablo 123 at hotmail.com.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna pass on that. I actually I had an email address that was like, it was the first initial of my first name, half of my middle name, like the number 15 at sbcglobal.net.
sbcglobal.net.
When people give me their email address, it's like, my acting instructor, one of his personal email, I think, is at AOL.com. It just makes me think of like AOL from the late 90s, like so long ago.
Instant messaging.
Or what's another old ass email address?
Oh God.
Yeah, because when I see AOL, when people tell me like, oh, blah 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 at AOL.com, it like takes me back and they're like, wait, AOL? Like, how long have you had this email address for?
Yeah, seriously. That would be rough to have gotten an email during that period and then have your email server sort of just fade out.
What's Ymail? Have you seen Ymail?
I've never heard of Ymail before. No, have you?
Yeah, I see stuff that says @Ymail. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Ymail?
Yeah, the letter Y.
Is it spam?
No, I think it's legitimate email addresses. Like,
so you are getting where are you seeing these?
I don't know. I'm just saying. It's like in passing.
Okay.
It's in passing. I'm gonna Google it.
Oh my god. All right.
It's all right. I already checked Instagram a little bit ago, so I'm not going to be distracted by all the memes and models that I am normally distracted by when I open up my phone, though they are quite entertaining and beautiful, so maybe I'll take a quick gander. But while I'm Googling this, how's your week been? How's drywalling been?
It's been an off week. We did not have any jobs this week.
Is this the third off week in a row for you, or is this the beginning of 3 off weeks, like you sometimes say? Well, you're right there in the middle, sweet spot, week number 2 without working.
I am reaching my breaking point. As awesome as like the YouTube channel has been progressing and all that, this bullshit work schedule is just not working for me. I'm not criticizing my employer whatsoever. It is what it is. But for the amount that I'm getting paid and the amount that we end up working, right, I have to
kind of need something that pays more but is also more consistent.
Yeah, so now, I mean, there's a bunch of different options, and gosh, I feel like this is something that we had talked about back on episode 5 or 6. Man, not much has changed.
Wow.
What?
I know what you were saying, but also what I just read. So, Quora.com. What are the differences between Ymail and Yahoo.com? Answer Wiki. It is all I was about to say it was all Yahoo. It is all Yahoo Mail, and it uses the same interface. Skip below. By opening up the Ymail domain name, this gives new users a chance at having an email address such as their first name, last name, or whatever else they choose. Yahoo Mail, top provider, blah 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 blah. This move, yada yada yada, and I've already lost interest. So
yeah,
it's Yahoo. It's Yahoo. So what else has happened in your week?
Not all that much. See, okay, so I wasn't gonna bring this up, but I am.
What about me? Is this something about me?
Totally
oh my
you.
Gosh!
This is about the progression of our conversation. So this is only because this is the third time this has happened where I start a conversation. I have a future topic in mind. So when I was talking about the hurricane, it wasn't just talking about the hurricane. We weren't going to stick on there. It was going somewhere.
I already know where this is going.
And this is the exact same thing that's happened before, where you just be like, "Oh, this is sad," or "This is boring. Let's change subjects." What's on my phone? And you just go straight to the phone, and it's like, oh my god!
I didn't go straight to the phone. I talked about an email that happened to be in my phone.
I'm only saying this because it's something that could have taken up an extra 10 minutes and would have flowed very nicely, but instead we have to insert this bullshit where it's like, I'm notifying you that this is something that would have flowed perfectly.
Okay, well, we can backtrack.
Oh my god.
Perfect, because I thought to myself, like, okay, because when I listen to our own podcast after it's done, even I myself, I'm like, I do not care to listen to X amount of minutes of just hurricane, Charlottesville, meh. Like, there needs to be some point. There needs to be something, there needs to be,
absolutely. No, I totally
entertainment, not just talk.
I don't disagree.
So after a while, I was like, you know what? I need to steer this I need to make a hard left turn on this because I'm going to lose myself listening to my own podcast if we just keep talking about, like, it spins, water, Category 5.
See, if you had given
Florida.
If you had given it like 30 more seconds.
All right, well, I'm listening.
No, I mean, it's one of those things where it's a small thing. It could have sparked conversation, but now it's been blown.
Okay, Hurricane Irma, bigger than Texas, clouds, torrential downpour, your grandma lives 60 miles away from Tampa. Go.
You suck. So, no, See, and now it's blown up to this epic proportion where it's like, it's got to be this great thing that we have to talk about now, where it was just going to be an offhanded comment where it could have led somewhere, but it could have not.
Well, just tell me the comment.
Okay, well...
I set it up perfectly. I hit every bullet point of that conversation in 5 seconds.
Yeah, we didn't need to recap it. I mean, because it's not really relevant to that at all. But it would have been a wonderful transition because I'm an artist that way. I'm
giving you an opportunity to segue into a new topic.
I know, I'm kidding. Yeah. So, well, okay. So with the reason why I brought up the strength of the hurricanes is because part of it is you're getting this conversation again that's talking about global warming, climate change, and all that taking place. And I'm thinking to myself, people are having these conversations about greenhouse gases and politicians basically implementing laws to try and reduce greenhouse gases, etc. But it was during the Obama administration, I think, that they had started encouraging individuals to actually start changing their behavior, like installing solar lights on the top of your house, recycling, basic stuff like that, not littering, et cetera, et cetera.
I totally want to have like not a garden, but just vegetation on my roof sometime.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so that was the thing that I was sort of curious from your perspective, is that yeah, I mean, environmental regulation stuff, that's a political issue, but do you have any thoughts as somebody who doesn't really pay attention to the news or politics about personal behaviors towards the environment? Because I know you said you don't like people littering.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you intentionally have disoriented your life in a way that you recycle or something just automatically.
Yeah. So let me hit you with some rather unfortunate news.
All right.
So at work right now they're doing renovations. We do not have any bathrooms or drinking fountain.
Oh, no.
I used to take a bottle of water and I would save that bottle and always refill it at the drinking fountain. And there's always cases of water that break, and so we can just use them whenever we want. I don't know, probably drink at least 2 or 3 bottles of water every day, and I drink the bottle of water. Oh, shit. I just realized right now that I could be using tap water. Fuck me. So I was about to say, every time I want water, I take the bottle of water, I throw it in the recycling, and I grab another bottle of water.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel bad about it, but you know what? I'm not going to be running around doing all this labor and not be drinking water.
Yeah.
And so in that regard, I have been leaving slightly larger footprint than I wish. However, on another note, I saw this video on Facebook of this turtle, and there's guys like, oh, what's he got in his nose? Oh, no, don't tell me it's a straw. Don't tell me it's a straw. And they pull out this straw from this turtle's nose, and I remember that PSA announcement of like the Indian or Native American, as we have to now say before I become scrutinized or before I am like cast into this group of
politically incorrect
alternate right wing crap. Indian, okay, I said it. Native American, 1970s, whatever. Like the tear rolling down his cheek.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of what I was thinking about and what I had going on when I saw this turtle get a straw taken out of its nose with pliers because it was so wedged up in there.
Yeah.
And his nose is bleeding a little bit. Anyway, since then, I have had this crusade of collecting plastic straws whenever I can. So I have, I don't know, maybe like 15 or 20 straws, most of which are from McDonald's at my house in my dresser. And I think to myself, look at this. These are 15 or 20 straws that are not in the ocean right now. And I continue to, I will plan on collecting those straws. So that's something that I do.
Wow.
I heard from an individual who used to work with somebody who used to work at a recycling plant that there's not enough demand for recycled material. That we, and at least I believe in the U.S., I don't know if there's other information, please bring it to our attention, that there is too much material to recycle so that much of it ends up in landfills anyway because there is not a high enough demand or need for plastics and whatnot to be recycled into new material.
So it's like not worth it, basically.
I'm not saying it's not worth it.
No, but it, like economically.
Let's say, for example, again, don't quote me, I'm just saying, for example, let's say 7 out of 10 bottles actually gets recycled.
Yeah.
And 3 end up in a landfill. I don't know what the numbers are, but something along those lines. That's the example I'm trying to make.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And I mean, see, it's your kind of approach of just you do it automatically, and it's weird that you have that with that straw thing of that moment, that close encounter with the harm that humans can cause nature is just, it sticks with you. And it's like, how can I prevent this? How can I personally do my small part? As small as like collecting straws. How can I do my part to prevent something like this from happening?
There's a video that I saw, and it talks about the contrasting efforts that the United States and like the rest of the world, or a particular place in Europe, make in regards to recycling.
Yeah.
And so I can't remember where it is exactly. It's somewhere in Europe that they have machines outside of shops for you to put your bottle into it, you know, and they'll give you an X amount of credit towards that store if it's a small bottle or if it's a large bottle. And you have this little receipt that tells you how much, you know, credit you have that you can use at this store. Essentially what it's doing is just giving you back the money that you already spent on the deposit of the bottle.
Yeah. Bottle refunds.
Yes, exactly. Because that, I mean, that's a real thing, but it's...
We do it in
doesn't
the US.
Yes, but we don't do it to the degree that other places
So it's like
it.
natural. Everyone
you
does
know
it
what I mean?
there.
I mean, the only people that do it are the people that go around and collect, you know what I'm saying? Like, people...
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know what I'm saying? It's
that's
not...
Because I tried doing that for a while, and it just wasn't
It's not worth it.
It
It's
totally
not
was
worth it.
Not worth
you know
it.
what I'm saying?
Because to get any kind of thing back, you have to bring in like 20 giant trash bags
Yeah.
of empty sticky cans.
They also have, I believe, I want to say it's like in Japan or something like that, where if you recycle, they have machines that will dispense food for like homeless dogs or something weird like that. So there's a much more communal.
I would believe that.
There's a much more communal involvement and effort. I also want to say again, I'm uncertain. Maybe it's Japan. There's some country where I believe during the sporting event, like they take a break, or like at halftime or the seventh inning stretch, or some type of intermission where everybody stands up and cleans up the garbage around them and throws it all away.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. I would love to see that here.
Do you think how much money a franchise could save by not having people go around cleaning up stuff? If people just look around them and take like a few seconds to just clean up themselves. But that's the mentality.
Communism!
Like, that's the thing.
Communism!
Like, that's the mentality is like, oh, I'm eating all these peanuts. I'm just leave the shells all over. Like
that
it's
bothers me
it's acceptable
yeah.
to like, oh, just leave it. Someone else will clean it up.
Yes.
Same at the movie theater, dude. It drives me nuts when people just find it acceptable, like just to make a mess or leave their shit there. It's like, they're paid to do that. Someone else will do it. That's their job.
Dude, like our generation, like unfortunately, I see our generation as like super entitled in that sense, because I see a lot of conservative politicians who are coming up through the ranks, and that is their motto, is that it's someone else's job to do that, so we shouldn't care what sort of mess we leave. And it's like that is the millennial. Like we're watching the millennial come to power, and that's the attitude they're taking towards life.
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of very counter to that general attitude, but don't you think that that's kind of the attitude that people our age engage in?
Yeah.
Just that entitled, someone else will clean it up. I don't see our parents' generation doing that. Our parents' generation is like, you make a mess, you clean it up. Yeah. At least as far as I observe.
You know what else pisses me off is when people have gum and they just like spit it on the sidewalk or the road.
Yeah. I don't do that anymore, but
that's good.
I've done that before.
I also hate it when people just chuck their cigarette butts wherever they feel like.
Sorry, man.
But I was chewing gum the other day and I had the wrapper in my pocket. You know what I do? Swear to God, dude. When I chew gum, I either throw it away, or if there's no garbage can available, I straight up swallow it.
Oh, I keep the wrapper and I just put it back in the
wrapper. If I don't have the wrapper, then I'll just swallow it. But if I have it, I'll throw it in the wrapper.
I won't swallow it. Maybe I could, but...
Do you so you prefer to spit rather than swallow?
You first, douche.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure I have faults unbeknownst to myself that people can point at me, but those are just some things that I observe in others.
But no one's ever like said you should do something to help the environment, like you, Victor Marquez, are responsible for doing something, like you need to recycle or something like that.
I already recycle. I mean,
No, I know, but there are people who are, and that gets into kind of what you were talking about with the mini rant you had on PC culture of like they're Indians, Native Americans, whatever. I said it, kind of thing. Like, because I know Neil used to get a lot of that when he posted online. He'd get a lot of very socially active feminists.
Oh, really?
Posting in response to his. Have you had that happen either on social media or in real life?
No, but I
did.
No, but someone did tell me that they had an interaction with somebody who was a feminist, which is totally cool. Whatever. Women are so much better than men. I'll just say that.
Totally
Throw that out there
Absolutely.
right now for sure. That he made the argument, like he made this answer, like, yeah, like she's telling me like she wants to be treated like this, like that, like that, like this. Okay, and then he even like, I think he held the door open for this person. And they were like, what are you doing? You think I can't open my own door? He's like, I'm just being a gentleman. And then she went like on some rant. So it's like, listen, I get the whole thing, what you're trying to do. I'm just trying to be a gentleman. If you don't want me to, if you're going to get upset that I open the door for you because you, in your brain, you think you can't open your door, like you've got some shit you got to work out.
Yeah. That's so interesting. I mean, I'm the kind of person who I'll open the door for old people and women, generally not men who can open the door themselves, but yeah, that is interesting.
Go to open the door, show them your back, and let them open the door themselves.
Pretty much. I shut it really quickly, and they walk into it.
My thing that pisses me off when people open the door and hold it open, I'm just like, dude, you can see that I am easily 15 or 20 paces away. Yeah. Don't make me be the asshole because I don't want to double time to the door that you're holding open for me that I can open myself.
Oh, no, I know.
In a matter of 15 seconds. Don't waste your time on me.
I would have to totally agree with that because I'm doing my own pace. I'm, like you said, I'm totally fine opening the door myself. And with you holding it open, it feels as though you're waiting for me now. And now I'm on your schedule to get to the door fast enough.
I'm on your schedule.
And as nice as it is, it puts a burden on me. But, yeah. Because I understand the feminist perspective, especially at Union. There was a really healthy liberal feminist conversation ongoing, and so I understand all those dynamics and stuff like that, but it definitely gets blown out of proportion to a certain extent. However, it was shocking to me to hear somebody who I know who's this blue-collar worker, works at a manufacturing plant, and there's a woman who works with him, and he got written up for sexual harassment, and he was telling me, yeah, it's bullshit. Like, I got written up for sexual harassment. I'm like, well, like, what did you do? He's like, I was staring at her boobs. And I was just like, okay, like, what do you mean staring at her boobs? I mean, she like had her, like, she had cleavage, and so, like, what was I supposed to do? I told her that she shouldn't be showing cleavage at work, and then she shows up again with cleavage. So, like, what am I supposed to do?
Let me interject real quick.
Yeah, please.
I mean, I get what the argument is, but at the same time, like, you got to glance it up. You got to take this, when you're looking at a woman like that, look away. You can't get caught like a deer in the headlights.
What if
you got to be slick about it?
And I'm not doing his argument justice.
Appreciate it, look away.
Yes, and I think that may have actually been what he did. But regardless, it was noticeable enough that, and that's the thing too, is like I told you before, and you've acknowledged this as well, that when a beautiful woman enters your periphery,
oh yeah,
your attention suddenly diverts. And it's obvious.
I will say this.
Yeah.
If you're dressing up like that, you know exactly what you're doing.
See, okay, and that was what his argument was.
Yes.
So you believe in that line of argument. If you're dressing that way, you should expect
you know exactly.
That is some
you know exactly
what.
Bullshit. Now,
I'm not. That is
I'm
bullshit.
Not. Listen. I'm not saying you.
Oh my
I'm not
God.
saying if you dress up like that, you deserve to be looked at like that. But if you dress up like that, you got to know. Some people are probably going to look at you, check you out.
Fuck? I mean, excuse my language, but holy
what?
Shit, man. Like, that, I kind of lost it on him, too, in a very similar manner. How in the world can that be an argument that you're using right now? That if she dresses a certain way, then she knows what's coming.
No.
No. I'm making it sound crude. And I don't mean, like, I understand You're not a perv. You're not somebody who's going out like ogling girls. Like, that's not what you do necessarily. But it is that common trait where, yes, when you have those momentary lapses where your penis takes over your eyes and it moves your eyes in direction that your mind knows that it shouldn't be moving, and you get in trouble for it. And it's like, well, okay, like, can you not control your penis?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, I mean, why do you have to stare? Like, why do you have to look at boobies? Even if there is cleavage out in front of you, like, why do you have to look at boobies? I don't get it.
What are you completely changed from talking? Okay, so this is what you did just now. So I'm
saying that there is a pattern of men who I think share the argument that women who dress provocatively, they in some sense should have the awareness to know that guys like do that.
Obviously.
Kind of yeah.
Of course.
I'm saying that's absurd. I mean, we don't hold that standard to women.
Okay, let me flip this. If I go to the beach and I'm wearing like a Speedo, you know what I'm saying? Right? I'll do it. If I'm wearing a Speedo, like, I know going into this, I'm going to be given attention that I would not normally have if I just wore normal swim trunks.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that I'm saying. I'm not saying that anyone looking at me is wrong. I'm not saying that I'm going out to try and get attention. I'm not saying other than just like, yeah, you need to be... I mean, for the same reason, okay, if a man or a woman runs out and not wearing any clothes at all, you gotta kind of expect people are gonna stare. Like, what the hell? Why are you not wearing any clothes? Like, I don't understand your argument saying... Like, it just blows my mind that you're saying a woman shouldn't have to think about being aware about what she wears.
We definitely...
Or a man, for that matter.
We don't hold that standard to guys. I mean, guys dress like whatever the fuck they dress like, and no one focuses on how revealing or conservative their clothing is. It's only women who have to deal with that. And my attitude is if we're having human interaction, human relationships, like, I want to be focused on the individual entirely, right? I mean, unless there's some ulterior motive that's going on, there's no reason for me to look at her, like, below her face. I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm working on ICANN. I mean, it's something I feel that's just not, that you can train yourself out of. I feel like you can treat and you can engage another human being if it's a guy or if it's a beautiful woman and not have to distinguish between the two because you're communicating with another human being. Like, that's and maybe that's idealistic, but that's the way that, in the same way that you, like, pick up straws on the street. For me, it's just a respect thing on my end.
Dude, with all due respect, your shit's whack, bro. I don't know what the hell you're trying to talk. I know what you're saying.
No, that's
I know
fair.
what you're saying. But okay, for example, if I'm talking to a supermodel, I'm going to be looking at her in the eye. But you best know that, like, I am very aware of whatever dress or swimsuit she has on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm going to, like, eye fuck her. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But am I going to appreciate that art of the female body? Hell yeah.
In conversation with her, or from a distance, or like
doesn't matter. It does on fucking Instagram, like I do every day.
Yeah, I mean, that's different though.
It's not like I'm like looking. It's not like I'm looking at the. Okay, this is for me. Maybe you already know this, but when I see all these pictures, it's not like I'm like, yeah, models. Like, no, like I really do have a very true and genuine appreciation for the female form. So beautiful. Yes. And there's so much, like I said, better than us in all aspects, including intellect. Guys are just so dumb. So dumb. But, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And you know what? I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying because I think that there is that, like, appreciation for the human figure that, like, I don't know. I mean, if someone looks good, they look good, and it catches your eye, right? A good-looking person is going to catch your eye, because that's just what good-looking people do. Yeah. So, I mean, I can kind of see that. And it's interesting that you're saying that, too, just because I mean, my reaction was pretty visceral with the other guy who was talking about his experience of getting written up like that, and to hear pushback from like two separate people from two different perspectives is making me like pause and reconsider. Like I still, for me, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm not quite connecting
on
the
a
experience.
Seinfeld, on an episode of Seinfeld, they made a joke how the male body is like, what did they say? It's like rugged, like a utility vehicle, and like the female body is like a piece of art. I'll always remember that. That was really funny.
Wow.
But yeah, dude, you're telling me like you have an opportunity to just appreciate the female form, and you're not gonna look. You're not gonna like. And I'm not saying this either. Just like isolate eyes to like her breasts. Like I'm only looking at her breasts. Oh my god, no. But like the whole figure as
like
the whole figure as a whole.
Not really. I think there's a difference between the before and after and the during, right? During the conversation, if you're in a conversation with someone and you're like going back and forth or whatever, that for me, that's not a time to admire, because for me,
No, who the hell? If I'm standing right in front of somebody, no way am I going to be doing that.
Oh, because he was in a conversation with her.
This changes everything.
Oh, okay.
I did not know that he was in a conversation. It made it sound like that maybe he was like,
no,
off
not
from a distance or like a few feet away but not talking.
I
this changes everything.
Oh, okay.
Your friend is a complete dumbass.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Because I was like getting a little disoriented.
No,
there. I'm like, wow.
I was so confused. I was like, yeah, okay.
And then when you were defending it, I'm like, because I was, I guess I didn't communicate that. Yeah, no, it was.
I did not know this was a conversation.
Wow.
Yes, if this is a conversation, your friend's an idiot.
Wow, that's a giant bomb to drop right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be the first to say that.
Yeah.
That is a huge amateur move.
And it was fleeting glance. It was fleeting glance. It wasn't like staring at down or anything.
I mean,
but it was just
I'll
like,
say this,
you're talking,
in his
you're
defense,
talking,
in his defense, like you need to. I mean, I suppose you would maybe need to train yourself not to. I mean, because it's only so natural. I don't know, for a straight male to naturally. Do that.
Yes, and especially with people with a little less self-control, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
but also it depends. Okay. Also this.
And it's like reflex.
How much time does this person? How much of social interaction is a part of this person's life or profession? Like when you're interacting with people, it makes a huge difference whether it's a man or woman. Like maintaining eye contact. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, he works at a manufacturing plant, so I mean.
So he looks at things, and he talks while he's looking at things.
Oh, interesting.
He looks at things and he talks while he's looking at things.
Yes.
Okay, but yeah, no, that makes me feel so much better about your opinion because this is really funny. Because that's what I meant. I was like, dude, Rix does not know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah, because I feel like we hadn't been that far.
We were not on the same page at all.
Okay. All right.
The fact that he was in conversation and then this happened, that changes everything.
It was just one of those fleeting glances. But apparently, though, that is.
And girls, don't pretend like you don't check out guys. like you're. Who are these two guys, Victor and Rix, talking about women like that? They're such like, give me a break. You're all about your feminism and women should be treated equal and double standards and all that. We know you check us out, dude. I sometimes have girls that I'm totally not about are looking at me and I'm like, oh, get me out of this room right now.
See,
that's probably a fraction, that experience of what women encounter every day. So with that, I say,
you can.
Just kidding.
I got you. You're opening the door a little crack to say that you can kind of relate to the experience.
Yes.
But not going so far as to say, hey, what's up?
Hey, I just want to let you know, I get it. Bye. Close the door.
Exactly. Really quick, lock it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. But yeah, there's no. Apparently, that's just a natural reaction because. I don't know. I mean, it's not like it's uncommon. I see it kind of frequently, where being in conversation, there's just the like obvious glance, and I'm thinking to myself, what what are you
There's
doing?
another episode of...
They totally see that. Women totally see that.
There's another episode of Seinfeld when Jerry and George are in the midst of getting their pilot on NBC, and they go to one of the executives' apartments, and the daughter walks in, and George takes a look at her cleavage, and then Russell, he looks at George, he's like, get a good look, Costanza, because he sees George staring at his daughter's cleavage, and Jerry's like, what were you doing in there? And he says something like, it's like staring at the sun. You look up and you look away, right? Like right away or something like that.
Oh yes, I've seen that clip. Like,
you look up and then you look away. But yeah, I had thought of that.
Just common courtesy, but yeah, but it's where do you draw that fine line? Because I feel like there's also that question of, well, where does it become sexual harassment? Was he right to get written up for sexual harassment?
I'd say when he's drooling, that's probably sexual harassment.
Yeah,
was he drooling?
I don't think he was drooling. But I think that he'd done it before in the past, and he'd been asked to stop, and his response was, we'll stop wearing low-cut shirts.
That's also true.
So.
That is also true, so.
But shouldn't she have a right to wear clothes that she can breathe in without having to worry about...
I mean, what is she wearing? Is this a low-cut V-neck with a push-up?
He didn't show me a picture.
It depends.
It depends? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a bunch of variables that are involved.
It's like a 50-year-old woman or something like that who had a really nice pair of breasts.
Oh, my gosh. So you did take a gander.
I didn't. But this is his...
Anyway.
Man,
that was a good... That was a good run right there.
that was an interesting little trek through the woods, shall we say.
Yeah. I'm satisfied with that.
Yeah, works for me. Anything you want to close on? Do you have any thoughts on your mind?
No. Nothing at all on my end. What about you?
Just enjoying the weather change,
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm just enjoying...
A ton of yard work. I've done a ton of yard work.
Fall, cider, pumpkins are around the corner,
goodness.
So...
We're entering into a new phase of the year.
Well, I think that concludes this episode. Yes?
I think so.
Yeah, so I think my advice to everyone out there is just don't stare at the sun too long. You'll get burned.
I love it.
Don't stare at the sun too long. You will definitely get burned.